I climbed into my car and drove off, leaving Molly behind. She was probably still sitting there, her thoughts a chaotic storm of confusion and dread, trying to make sense of what had just happened. I felt for her, truly I did, but I couldn't remain. The secret I bore sat heavy on my shoulders, a weight I could no longer carry. Tonight wasn't about arguing or demanding answers. It was the first real step toward taking my life back, a life in which she would no longer belong. The cool night air brushed my face as I drove. The car's steady hum offered a strange, small comfort. My thoughts tumbled and turned like dry leaves in wind, each one edged with pain and uncertainty. When I pulled up at Gabriel's house, the porch light's warm glow felt like a tiny refuge. The smell of fresh lasagna hit me as I stepped out of the car, proof of the cozy, welcoming world Gabriel and Rose had built. Gabriel met me at the door with his usual loud friendliness, a hearty slap on the shoulder and a grin that tried to hide his worry. "Good to see you, Mason. Come on in. Make yourself at home," he said. Rose appeared behind him, her soft smile full of quiet understanding. Her eyes, always perceptive, seemed to look straight through me. "You look like you've had a rough few days," she murmured, a gentle comment that landed like a small explosion against my frayed nerves. "Come sit. Let's get you something to eat." Their warmth was so sincere, so disarming, that for a moment I felt the tightness in my chest loosen. I followed them inside, forcing the thoughts of Molly and betrayal to the back of my mind. At dinner I tried to keep things casual, asking Gabriel about work, showing interest in his team. But as the night went on, the barriers I'd constructed around my feelings began to crack. Rose noticed. She leaned forward, voice soft but steady. "Mason, you don't have to tell us anything you're not ready for, but if you need to talk, we're here." I hesitated, the secret inside me threatening to crush whatever calm I had left. With a long, ragged sigh I set my fork down. The clink of metal on porcelain shredded the fragile quiet. "It's Molly," I said, the words spilling out like a confession. "She's been unfaithful. Not once, with multiple people." Gabriel stopped mid-bite, shock and then disbelief crossing his face. "Mason, I'm so sorry," he said quietly, sympathy weighing every syllable. Rose reached across the table and laid her hand on mine, a small, steadying touch. "I can't imagine how painful this is for you," she said. I swallowed hard and kept going, voice trembling. "It's worse than you can imagine. Brad, my boss, and some of his friends, his son, have proof. Knowing it and seeing it. It's unbearable." At the name Brad, Gabriel's expression hardened with anger. "Brad. That's awful," he said, his tone sharp with incredulity. Rose's eyes softened even more, full of concern. "Mason, do you have anyone else to talk to? A support network besides us?" I shook my head. The isolation I felt seemed to press down harder with each word. "Not really," I admitted. "That's part of why I'm here. I needed someone who might understand." Gabriel's voice turned firm and reassuring. "You've got a spot on my team, Mason. We'll sort this out when you're ready." Rose nodded, sincere. "If you want someone to talk to, a professional or just someone to listen, I can help find that. We're here for you." Their support felt like a rope thrown to me in rough water. For the first time in weeks, a tiny thread of hope started to slip through the dark. Later that night when I went back home, the house was unnaturally quiet. Molly was already in bed. The silence pressed down like a physical weight. I lingered in the living room, looking around at the life we'd built, wondering how it had come apart so completely. Eventually I went to the futon and lay staring at the ceiling. The darkness replicated the heaviness in my chest. Tomorrow would bring hard conversations. I needed to steel myself for what was coming. The next day I confronted Molly, holding the proof of her betrayal in my hand. My voice was cold and sharp, each word cutting the silence. "Is this what you wanted?" I asked, holding up the evidence. "Brad isn't the only one. His son, his friends, people I don't even know. Did they prey on you? Or did you choose this?" Her face fell apart. She sobbed, the consequences of her actions crashing down around her. I don't know how it got this bad, Molly whispered, trembling with regret. Tears streamed down her cheeks as she tried to explain. It started with Brad, and then everything spiraled. I felt trapped. Shame. I couldn't face you. Trapped. I repeated, my voice rising. You weren't trapped, Molly. You had choices. And every one of them was a betrayal. A betrayal of me, of what we had. You let things spiral until there was no coming back. And now you want to play the victim. Her sobs grew louder as she hid her face in her hands. I know I messed up, Mason. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I still love you, she choked out. Rage surged through me. I slammed my palm on the table. The sharp impact cut through her, crying. Don't you dare say you love me, I snapped, my voice low and seething. You don't destroy someone you love. You don't humiliate them, break their trust, and wreck their life. You gave up the right to that word the moment you chose Brad over me. Her sobs were the only sound left. Her silence afterward spoke louder than any explanation. I inhaled slowly, my tone softer but resolute. It's over, Molly. There's nothing left to save. I'll file for divorce, I said. Her head stayed bowed. She whispered so quietly I almost missed it. What do you want me to do? You'll pack your things and be gone before the papers are filed, I answered firmly. You'll stay out of my life, away from me, and out of my home. You wanted Brad and his circus. Then go. Join them. Her shoulders trembled beneath the weight of my words. After a long, broken pause, she whispered, I'll leave tomorrow. I rose, unable to hold her tear-streaked gaze any longer. Good, I said. The sooner the better. Without another word I left the room, letting her face the wreckage she'd made. Upstairs, I sat on the edge of the bed and stared out into the night. The enormity of it all hit me. My marriage was finished, my trust destroyed. The woman I had promised my life to had become a stranger. Yet as the hours passed, something unexpected rose inside me, relief. I had made a choice. I had taken back control. The path ahead was uncertain, but for the first time in ages there was a sliver of clarity. Tomorrow I would start again without Molly, without Brad, and without the crushing weight of their betrayal. The aftermath of the marriage was a storm. Pain, lies, heartbreak, devastation. Molly's choices had undone not only our lives but those tangled up in her deceit. Brad and his son Matt weren't untouched. Their reputations lay in tatters. Months later, standing at Molly's memorial, her life cut tragically short by the path she'd chosen, I understood something vital. Forgiveness wasn't about excusing her. It was about freeing myself. Letting go of the anger and hurt wasn't for her. It was for me. It was the only way forward. At work, my new role at Empire brought a stability I hadn't felt in months. Gabriel became more than a boss, he was a mentor and a guide, helping me rebuild not just my career but my sense of self. Rose's counseling was a lifeline, helping me reclaim pieces of myself I thought were gone. I threw myself into fitness, started a martial arts class, and revived old passions. Slowly, I began to put myself back together. One evening Tracy, a warm, steady colleague who'd always been there in the background, invited me to a team happy hour. I hesitated at first. After everything, stepping back into the world felt foreign. But I knew staying stuck would only trap me in the past. So I went. At Hitchhiker's Bar that night I laughed. Genuinely. For the first time in what seemed like forever. Tracy and the team shared drinks, jokes, and stories. No tension, no deceit. Just honest camaraderie. It felt refreshingly simple and exactly what I needed. In the weeks that followed, Tracy and I spent more time together. Coffee breaks and team lunches turned into after-work drinks and long, quiet conversations that stretched late into the evening. There was something about her, her kindness, her unassuming steadiness, her quiet strength, that pulled me in. She never probed into my past, though I knew she understood. She treated me simply as Mason, a man she enjoyed getting to know. One night, after we both stayed late, Tracy came by my desk. "Want to grab dinner?" she asked, her eyes warm and inviting. I nodded, feeling something stir inside me, something I hadn't felt in a long time. "Yes," I said, a small smile easing onto my face. "I'd like that." As we walked out together, I realized something important. I was ready to embrace new possibilities. Life had tested and broken me, but it hadn't defeated me. Tracy wasn't a replacement for Molly or anyone else. She was someone who made me hopeful again.